Hello, and in this video I am going to go over getting this really cool retro green handheld look on your images and video work super quick with no plugins, no Adobe Suite and no AI using Dither Boy. Now I've covered this in the past, but we are actively working on this software and we've since added some features that make this effect even cooler and just even better to use. So I'm going to run through a couple of different images today and show you how to get the kind of results that I get, like these ones that I will show you on screen. Before we start, if you don't know what Dither Boy is, I will leave it all linked below. This is a one-time purchase software that, as I said, we're working on updates for actively. In fact, this might be one of the last videos I do on Dither Boy version 5 before things start looking very different in version 6, because we've just got a really big update in the works that should be with you soon. So yeah, if you'd like to try this out and get in on all the updates, then everything will be linked below the video. But to get straight on with it, I am here in Dither Boy version 5.1.1. If you need to get updated to this version, then you can just go to help and click on check for updates. Or if you made an account on the Studio AAA website, you can now sign into the account, go to your orders and click a little update button. It'll say like refresh software downloads and you can download the newest version there basically. Now here I've loaded in a picture of a cat. This is actually my cat. I took this picture. I've never used any of my cats in a Dither Boy video, so I thought I would this time. And I've loaded up the Bayer ordered algorithm. Now there's a couple of different algorithms that you can use for this kind of effect. Obviously Dither Boy has lots of different dithering algorithms, but if you want to keep this authentic to the thing we are aiming for, then I would go for Bayer ordered, Bayer void, which has a little bit more precise threshold control, any of the Bayer matrix dithers, or a Floyd Steinberg or an Ostromakov dither. You can go for one of the other diffusion ones if you want as well, but some of these other ones leave the retro sort of category because we made them for Dither Boy in 2025 rather than them being actually retro. So I'm going to switch to Bayer Void just because this one, if I turn down the warp intensity, this one has a much better luminance threshold control because this is our custom Bayer algorithm. So if you have a look, luminance threshold here, this one's really responsive, whereas the Bayer ordered one, the usual typical Bayer dither, even at 100 luminance threshold or at 0, you still get quite a lot sort of in your image. So anyway, I'm going to go Bayer Void, isolate my cat a little bit like this, and then I'm going to go to palette category and click on retro, and then go to palettes and click on handheld. You can get some more handheld palettes. We're currently changing some of the way the website works for these, so I think that they were unavailable, but I will show you something on screen relevant to where you can get them right now. And I'm just going to set the depth to 4. Now you can and might be tempted to take the depth way higher, but I wouldn't do that for this because we don't want to cut out the background like this. We do still want some of the background dithered, so I'm going to go depth of 4. Now you can't really see my cat at this point. She's just sort of melted into the pattern a little bit here, so I'm going to up the contrast a little bit so you can see the white coming through in this sort of lime green, and up the midtones as well, and just up the highlights a little bit so that it's not too much like this. And obviously you can keep tweaking the luminance threshold. I'm going to up that a little bit as well, and if you want to spread things out, you can just add a little bit of blur. Obviously if you go too far with the blur, it's just going to look like nonsense, so don't go too far. And for your own images, I probably picked quite a bad image to run this on, so I do have a couple other ones I'm going to mess with today as well. But for your own image, it does help if you can use one that doesn't have any hyper directional lighting or anything that doesn't have like an obvious foreground and background. But this is the basic setup of the shading. Once you've set up your shading, you can continue to change dithers and go for these other algorithms if you want to. But the new part of this that we added is if you tick the effects checkbox here, we've got epsilon glow, JPEG glitch effects and chromatic effects. Now I don't have my Game Boy with me. I do have an old semi sort of working Game Boy, but these JPEG glitch effects are not relevant to that sort of era of handhelds, so we're not going to use any of the JPEG glitch effects. Same for chromatic aberration. This kind of chromatic aberration where it's just shifting the channels out like this isn't relevant to that sort of era of handhelds either. This is more relevant to analog screens that didn't fit in your hand, so we're not going to go for any of that either. Now, epsilon glow, you can argue that this isn't the most relevant effect either, but whenever you are emulating or aiming for something old, it's always cool to add in new ideas if you can do it properly or if it makes sense. So we're obviously not going to add a big stupid glow that covers everything like this defaults to. The way epsilon glow works, and the reason that we added this very specific like custom type of glow to Dither Boy rather than just adding a normal boring glow, is because epsilon glow is designed to allow you to isolate the layers of the dither that you set up with the depth slider. So obviously if you move the depth slider to 2, there's only 2 layers here. There's this green and then there's this green in the background, which may as well be black and white dither. But as you start to layer up, we wanted a glow effect that would be able to read these layers and be aware of them. But setting up a glow for each depth layer would have been a very expensive, like computing wise. When I say expensive, what I mean is it would crash. It would require like lots of calculations and stuff to do that. So epsilon glow has, in my opinion, the best threshold control you will find on any glow effect, second only to maybe deep glow, but deep glow is obviously hidden behind the Adobe subscription now. So sometimes it helps to start from 0 threshold, sometimes it helps to start from 100, but whatever you're working on, however you've got your dither set up now, tick the epsilon glow to on and then just try and find the sweet spot for your threshold. What you're looking for is one that isolates these top level colors, obviously to your preference, but I would say that if I go too low here, it's actually washing out the top 2 colors. So don't be mistaken for like thinking this has properly isolated it, because really this is still a bit too much in my opinion. So I'm going to go higher than 60 and take it to, I'm probably going to go for 71. Now from here, you can mess with the radius. If you would like a stronger glow, then you can always lower the radius and the distance scale as well. Now, if you've got your threshold set really tight, you might not notice much difference when you're moving the epsilon here, but if you want a breakdown of like this whole glow control and all these terms and what everything does really specifically, I did a video on that and I will leave that linked below as well, or I'll put it on the end card. But yeah, once you've got your retro effect set up now we've got epsilon glow, there's just like a new sort of dimension you can add to it here that contributes to the effect, and I just think it looks really cool. So moving on to if you want to apply this effect to text, just one quick tip I've got. Obviously I've got Photoshop open here, but you can do this anywhere. You don't need Photoshop. It always helps to add a subtle gradient to any text or solid shape that you're going to be dithering, particularly for this effect, but just generally. Obviously the reason for that is if dithering finds a flat white surface, there's going to be no pattern through that, like, or if there is, if you manage to lower the contrast and the brightness of the image until there is a pattern running through the solid white shape, the pattern won't change or evolve or move. It'll be static, and that's boring. So yeah, I always recommend adding just a little gradient like this to your work if it's going to be a flat shape. And once you understand dithering, you'll literally be able to see here that this section here at the bottom where it's almost completely white, this will have more dense dithering and a pattern that has more dots closer together. And then as you go up and up and up the gradient until we get to the dark gray section, these sections that are closer to black will have a more spread out dither pattern and less dots in a small space essentially. So density and sparsity referring to the pattern. So once you understand that, you'll know that the gradient that runs through here, it will change. So you'll be able to literally see the pattern moving through the luminance scale or spectrum or whatever you want to call it, and the pattern changing as a result. So just to show you, I've still got the cat dither open. If I save this now and we move it into Dither Boy, you'll be able to see what I mean. So now with this open, and I'm going to switch just for bonus points to the 365 Dither Boy theme, so it kind of matches the effect I'm applying. With this open now, as you can see, the bottom here where it's closer to solid white, really dense dithering, and then it spreads out as we hit the top where it's almost black. So you can just up the contrast, or you can move the luminance threshold if you would like to sort of manipulate that. I'm actually going to switch back. But yeah, same method again, retro, handheld, up the depth, I'm going to up the contrast until there is at least a little bit in all of the letters like this, and then enable the glow. And I'm probably going to go and tighten that radius a little bit more. And I might even lower the depth for this one and then lower the contrast. So we've just got the two colors, but yeah, obviously you can, the thing about dithering and the thing about these effects in particular, now we've got the epsilon glow and the palettes and the depth slider and stuff, you can kind of iterate forever. So what I'm trying to do when I show these effects now is I'm trying to make sure I will show you it on an image, because obviously images are going to be full of all sorts of different luminance values, colors, shades, all that stuff, but then also show the same effect in the same tutorial on a white solid shape, because your approach, it might be different, and it's just something that people often ask me about. So yeah, I'm trying to make these tutorials more useful, and I'm cursed to forever be in a tutorial debt, because we will update the app and there'll be an even better way to do this pretty soon, and so I will be compelled to make this video again showing the new stuff. But yeah, I just like this kind of little thing that's going on here, where the background of the letters is not glowing at all, but these dots on top are, oh, it just looks so cool. And yeah, just being able to control this live, like I could just sit here for ages and mess with this and all these different patterns and stuff that you can get. But I am going to end it there just to prove myself right from earlier. If you do go for some of the other custom dither effects that we've set up here, you'll get something cool, but you'll lose the sort of retro idea behind this from the handhelds. So here's the waveform one, which just doesn't look right. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that I showed you why that doesn't work. Either way, thank you very much for watching this video. Dither Boy version 6 coming soon. I don't have a date yet, but by the time you see this, this might be the last tutorial we do on Dither Boy version 5. So if you've been around since like version 1, then thank you for your support. I think you're really going to like version 6. And if you're new here, then it's really good timing, because things are about to get even better with Dither Boy in version 6. But yeah, thanks for watching. Everything I mentioned today will be linked below, and I will see you in the next video.